So this afternoon, the Packers signed another player in safety, Jonathan Owens, who was the starting safety for the Houston Texans last year, started in all 17 games. It came out here initially from Simone Biles, actually. She posted it first because she happens to be the husband of Jonathan Owens. But here she says, "Go Pack, go." So the Packers add another safety in Jonathan Owens. And I think that safety is the position that it has the most confusion and uncertainty going into 2023 for the Packers, with Adrian Amos no longer being on this roster. And it seems now with Jonathan Owens being signed, I do wonder if the likelihood of Amos going elsewhere has increased even more, because I think there already was a chance that he likely wouldn't return, but there still seemed to be a potential chance of it happening because he hasn't signed with anyone else up to this point. But adding another safety would sort of make me think that he's likely not going to be back, but who knows. But just a little bit about Jonathan Owens. He came in 2018, was an undrafted free agent. He spent 3 seasons with the Texans, 2020, 21, and 2022. And then last year, he started all 17 games for the Houston Texans. But here I want to show you his grades from PFF. So as you can see, 2022, he didn't get a very good grade, 48.3 overall, 45.9 run defense grade, 80.9 tackle grade, so seemed to be a very solid tackler last season, and then a 49 coverage grade, which isn't amazing. So I think now when we look at this Packers safety room, there's still lots of uncertainty. I think that when we look at all the different safeties the Packers have, I think the best guy on the roster right now may be Rudy Ford, who last year, if we look at him, I think he played really, really well in the snaps that he did play at safety. He played in 443 snaps. He had a 74.6 overall grade by PFF, which is pretty high. He allowed 106.8 passer rating, which is not terrible. And then Darnell Savage last year actually had a 47.5 grade out of 100, which is not great, and 819 snaps. He was even benched for a portion of time. So I don't think it's a given that Savage holds on to the starting safety spot for the entire season. We'll see, though. He could come in and play well and keep that spot. But I think that there's lots of different safeties in this room. And there's a chance that some guy comes in here and sort of rises to the surface and potentially comes in and takes a safety spot. Whether that's in training camp, whether that's in the season, I think it's not out of the realm of possibilities. He did allow a 100.7 passer rating last season, so a little slightly better than Rudy Ford. And then outside of Rudy Ford and Darnell Savage, we have Dallin Leavitt, who was mainly a special teams guy, only played 1 safety snap last year. Ennis Gaines only played 44 safety snaps last year. Tarvarius Moore, who we signed this offseason from the 49ers, only played 41 safety snaps last year. Then we have Anthony Johnson, rookie, 7th-round draft pick, who many people had much higher graded than a 7th-round pick. So there's a chance there that he could come in training camp, potentially shine, and maybe have a chance to start in this safety room. And then we have Tariq Carpenter, only played 17 snaps last year as a rookie, mainly a special teams guy. Then we have Benny Sapp III, a 2023 undrafted free agent, and James Wiggins, who was a Cardinals 7th-round draft pick in 2021. So I think that when we look at the safety room as the season gets closer and closer, one of these guys could sort of surprise and come out of nowhere and potentially take a starting job. I think that right now it looks like Rudy Ford and Darnell Savage will likely be the starters. And I don't know about Jonathan Owens. We'll see how he plays in training camp and what the Packers think about him, because he was a starter, so he does have that experience. But as I said, his grade wasn't incredible. I think he allowed like 124 passer rating, which isn't great. But we'll see. Maybe he comes in and change of scenery allows him to maybe take his game to another level. We saw that with Rasul Douglas, like 2 seasons ago now, where the Packers signed him from the Cardinals practice squad, and now he's one of the better corners in the league, I would say. So you never know what could happen when a player comes into a new situation, and so we'll sort of have to see how the safety competition goes throughout the rest of the summer, through training camp, and as the season actually gets here. So it's going to be a position definitely to keep an eye on, because I don't think there's complete certainty as to who is going to start and how it will look, even though there are a few guys who right now it seems like they'll probably start off starting, but there's still, I think, some chances for fluctuation as training camp and the season begins. And if you guys would like to check out my Packers newsletter, I put out a quick Q&A earlier today. I'll leave it linked in the description and comments down below. I touched on the debate about the Packers being in a rebuild or not being in a rebuild, a little bit about Jordan Love, a little bit about the Joe Barry defense, and a few other things. So if you would like to read that, you can click the link down below. And if you enjoy it, you want to see more of those newsletters, I'm putting out a lot more these days, so you can subscribe to that by entering your email as well. But that is all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.